Hello, everybody. Katie Hemphill here today to guide you through some practice, some conversation to bring us all into the space of the embodiment work that I've been doing, this very earthy embodiment work that is centered on this idea, this experience that is entering into connection, fuller felt connection. This is a process that is an ever-deepening connection into self, through self, in connection to earth, to nature, to the world that, as we've been taught, lives outside of ourselves, but as we get to experience in this work, is really, truly, deeply integrated, interwoven with self in ways that our minds just can't really comprehend. Now, this is a space that we can use different words to play with, right? We can use different words to attempt to describe what we're doing here. Might call it earth magic, earth priestessing. I like the term embodiment work because it really just gets to the heart of what this is. Very simply, is a practice of being embodied, of being present in your body and felt connection to the whole self, including your body that you are. And what this practice really is a sort of remedy to the world that we live in that teaches us disconnection, right? Our world is really good at disconnecting mind from body, self from nature, me from you, right? Human to human. This world is really good at putting up walls, at separating, and it's in the space that then we make room for structures that bring the harm that they do in our world, these power over structures. And it's through this work that I've found to be a great source of power to just get to the root of all these problems alive in our world that are founded on this idea of separation. That mind is superior to body, that I am superior to you, that you are superior to him, that we are superior to nature, right? All these belief systems that set the foundation for how we think, how we act, that cause such harm in our world in more ways than we probably know. And it's through this practice, in one way, we can think about it as a very simple practice, but as we get into it, you'll see maybe this is a first time thing for you. Maybe you've tried yoga, maybe you've tried meditation or any other sort of practice that asks that you go within and have found varying levels of difficulty. I know for me, the reason I teach what I teach is because I didn't have an easy path here. I didn't show up to a yoga class and fall in love with the peace and the joy and the ease that I found. What I actually found was a multi-year process of going within, of being able to feel any sensation in my body, because my body had gone through so much in my 20 whatever years it was when I started, that when I then started to ask of myself that I look within, that I feel what is here in my heart, what is here in the in and out of my breath. Very seemingly simple practices that are often so difficult because we have so many layers of defense against them. Right? How many people, and maybe feel into this if this is true for you or to what degree this is true for you, how challenging is it to be in a seemingly simple practice of feeling into your heart? You know, what defenses go up? I know if you had asked my 20-year-old version of self to sit down and breathe and feel into my heart, I would have had all sorts of stories of the BS nature of the practice going on, and I would have been finding myself running anywhere but here. Here, entering into all sorts of practices. What I love about embodiment work is it offers such an expansive playground. Where are you going to be guided to? Where are you going to be asked to put your conscious awareness? Your breath. Where in your breath? Your breath in your chest, in your belly, your breath up in your nose, your breath all the way down into your root and down into the earth. Just feeling into those for a minute. Maybe one of those calls to you. When we entered into this world of embodiment work, we enter into a vast playground. And on a playground, it's not about having some idealized structure, some idealized process. Start here, then go here, then go here, then go here. We can bring in structure, we can bring in process, and sometimes that helps. But the way I teach is a more fluid, more feminine approach that really asks that you be in charge of your own path. Yes, let those guides come in, and if you want, if it resonates, seems true to you, that I can be such guide. I have so many guided meditations to bring you through this space, and we are going to do a practice today. Maybe it's a specific meditation teacher, or maybe a yoga teacher, maybe it's Qigong. You know, there's all these different structures, frameworks with teachers that can guide you through in these structured ways, and they offer these beautiful opportunities to be guided within. And also, and here's where we get to really why I do what I do, is that when I really started to go deep into my own embodiment path, what I found was so much resistance coming up whenever I tried to make myself complete a full guided meditation or complete a yoga class, because I'd been living in the modern world and I have this whole long story that is unique to me and maybe has some shared threads with you. And I know as a collective humanity, especially those in the West, we all have a lot of shared history that builds up in our nervous systems and in our belief patterns and in the cells that make up the physical nature of our bodies. And in this, what can happen is this resistance to going inward. And as we enter into any sort of embodiment practice, that journey is going to start to unfold in a way which, yes, might have commonalities from me to you, you to anyone else. But that journey is also going to be unique to you, just as it was unique to me and continues to be. So with this, what is in my opinion, a requirement for anyone really walking through their embodiment path, right? This journey inward into felt present connection with self. What is a requirement is that you own this journey, is that you develop the discernment to know, this practice isn't actually serving me, or wow, this practice is so nourishing, so healing. I need to do it again. Or, this part of this practice was really good, but this one, I don't know, it stirred something up and I don't know if that's actually skillful. So I'm going to take this piece, but I'm not going to do that piece. And in this way, what happens is we get to grow, create, weave our own embodiment path. We get to cultivate practices that serve. We get to do those practices while they serve until they don't. We live in this abundant world, something to be so grateful for. And I do suggest that we spend more time walking around in gratitude for the abundance of wisdom that is available at our fingertips right now. So maybe just a moment of that to sink in a little bit. How incredible is it that we live in the time that we do, that we have more wisdom than any single human could ever actually soak in, available at our fingertips. And this doesn't mean that we have to take it all in. What it means is we get to learn how to take it all in a way that really serves. To take it in a way that's not just cerebral, it's not just in our heads, but that we allow it to move all the way through all those layers of self, mind and body, heart, nervous system, soul, all these different parts of self that we get to open to. Maybe you were closed off to one of those words I used. Maybe you're partially open, but you're, feeling a little bit kind of crunchy when I use the word heart or soul. What the embodiment journey is this opening to parts of self as they come online in a way that actually serves you, your life, your path. And before we go into this practice, because I know every time I use the words like you and your path, we enter into this space of me versus you. Oh, this is selfish to be spending time on me when there's a world out there that needs my help. So to just take a quick moment here to drop in what is really a foundational principle of all the work that I do. And I do teach this in a sort of, I'm a scientist, so I really like pulling from the scientific process and using hypothesis testing and not teaching something as dogma, as something that you have to accept if you're going to do this work, but more as something to hold space for. Is this true? And this idea, this working hypothesis that I hold, this principle that as we go along this path, right, if we are here doing the work that truly serves our own selves, our own individual selves, if we're aligned on this path, then the work we're doing is not only serving our own selves, but it's serving the greater whole, the greater world we live in as a whole. again, it's an idea, it's a working hypothesis. It's an idea, right? A teaching that was given to me that many wisdom teachings, philosophies, traditions have adopted, have held for centuries and centuries, thousands of years. So it's been around. It's been around. Me and my modern humanness, I don't know. I don't know if I fully believe it, but I hold space for it because as I do this work, I don't know, it continues to show itself as a truth. So just that little piece, if there's any rub or comes up that this work is selfish or that your time is better spent outward doing the work in the world, yeah, find time to go do that. But maybe hold space for this idea that if we're on the path, and that's really what we're doing here, right? We are doing this work to find ourselves on this path, this spiritual path, this embodied spiritual path where we are grounded, where we are connected to self, connected to that which expands beyond self. We're healing our own stuff. We're healing the world. We're calling in more light. We're easing suffering, doing all those things. We're doing it in a way where we are present in felt connection to self, in connection to the greater world we live on. I'll say it one more time. We know we're on the path when there is no longer any separation. There's no longer martyrdom. There's no longer self-sacrifice. There's no longer my needs versus the needs of the world. I mean, yeah, we're human. Like, you know, it's crunchy. So sometimes we can't really see it. Sometimes we have to act in a way that may not directly seem like it's benefiting the whole. But if we go deeper, right? I started off by saying that this is a deepening. This is an ever-deepening into truth. Into truth that can only be known when we're on it. This is where we get into that funky spiritual space that words become difficult to touch, and that's why we can't just live in the world of words, why we have to go into practice. So some food for thought for you today. You know, I think a good space often brings answers and brings more questions. So hopefully with that bit of conversation here at the beginning, that there's some things that landed, maybe some questions that arose, different things to bring to the playground that is your own practice, right? Did some things I say today really land, sing true? Did some things seem a little bit edgy, a little bit crunchy? Okay, so with that, I want to take us into this practice. I want to take us into what I think is going to be a very simple version of the practice that I teach. A very simple version of going within. Yeah, let's just go straight in. This is a practice that can be done in many different ways, which is why I love it. You can do it seated, inside or out. You can do it eyes open, eyes closed. You can do it walking out in the forest. For today, I am seated, seat in a chair, feet on the floor. So if you want to find a similar position, it doesn't have to match me exactly. do what works for you here in this moment. I find that it typically helps to close your eyes down to really help go inward. If that isn't appropriate for the space you're in, or if that doesn't feel safe and comfortable for you, eyes open, soft gaze on an uninteresting point, that tends to serve. So starting to slow down now, starting to ease out of the realm of chatter, which often so keeps us up in our heads. We're going to start to drop. So calling upon your breath as you start to take deep breaths down into your body. As you start to breathe into your body, I invite you to simultaneously bring some attention to your seat, to your feet on the floor, whatever is really connecting you in felt connection to the surface, holding you here. So maybe that's feeling the bottom of your feet on the floor. Maybe that's feeling your sits bones in the chair. Really just bringing some conscious awareness, your attention to the physical sensations with the surface holding you here in this moment. As you breathe, breathing down into your body. So when we breathe, we can breathe up here, like into your nose. You can feel the sensations up in your nose, up in your head. That's one way to bring awareness to your breath. But right now I invite you to breathe down. So maybe breathing into your chest. If you want to bring your attention to one single area of your body, sometimes it's simplest to bring it down into your chest. Really feel into that physical expansion of your rib cage as you inhale. And exhaling, just letting that breath go. We're going to take several breaths. So maybe you stay in your chest. Maybe you drop down into your belly. Maybe you hold awareness in your chest and your belly. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that you're finding a space in your body that feels safe, comfortable, to allow you to breathe with ease. So there's no forcing in the breath here. There's no straining to get the biggest breath possible. This is a inhaling, allowing yourself to be filled. And an exhaling, just letting it go. Inhaling, being filled. Exhaling, letting it go, and reminder here to keep that awareness down in those physical sensations in your body, maintaining some of that connection to the ground beneath you. So we're just going to take a few more breaths here. As you're here breathing, maybe you find that this practice, this very simple practice, is nourishing, feeling good. Maybe you're letting go some of the stuff, some of the stress that you've been holding on to today. This can be such a simple, such a powerful practice. Just this piece right here, just every single day, throughout the day. Take some time to breathe down into your body, to let your head go. Simply be present in felt connection to your body, in connection to the ground you stand on, and let your breath work its magic. So you can stay here. You can press pause. You can stay here as long as you'd like. But for now, I'm going to guide us into the next step. So now that we've established this nice, nourishing, supportive connection with self, what we're going to do is start to drop our attention down even further. Before we do this, right, because what we're about to do is actually drop our attention down into the earth itself. And anytime I work with the earth, I find that it's really in service to ourselves and to the earth to begin with gratitude. So let's start by actually going into our heart space. Just taking a few focused breaths into your heart, right? Just into the center of your chest. Just letting gratitude for this earth flood in. Maybe that comes in through a memory from yesterday's walk in the forest. Maybe it comes from a gratitude for the food you got to eat today. Maybe there's some other aspect of earth that really helps you just bring some gratitude for this earth that we get to stand on. Let that fill your heart. As we continue to breathe, as we continue to hold presence in our bodies. So now as we sit here, present in felt connection to self, hearts full of gratitude, now I'm going to invite you to drop. So feeling into your root, feeling into that connection with your seat, with your feet, whatever sings most strongly to you as that connection with the surface, holding you in this moment, connecting into that felt connection with the ground you stand on. And from this space, inviting in ease. There is no pushing here. There is no forcing our way down. Entering into a space of allowing your conscious attention, your awareness to drop down beneath your seat, beneath your feet, and down into the earth beneath you. Continuing to breathe. And as you're here, dropping your loving gratitude, full attention down into the earth. Maybe some imagery comes to mind, or maybe not. Maybe sensation arises in your body, maybe temperature changes. So inviting in just some space for curiosity. What's here? There are images that come to mind. You envision dirt, rock, roots, soil. What is here as you enter into this gentle, loving attention with the earth? How deep are you welcomed into the earth? What's here? What's here for you as you establish this connection with the earth, which is really all that we're doing today. Establishing connection with the ground we stand on. Maybe you visualize this connection through roots growing down through your feet. Maybe there's a mycelial network down here that wants to connect in. Maybe there's rich soil full of nutrients. Maybe there's water down here. Maybe there's fire down here. Just continuing to breathe as you allow this experience to unfold as it will, in service to this connection, which, as we've spoken to today, is a connection that is in service, yes, to you, to your healing, your support, your nourishment, your path forward, and to the earth herself. It's a bi-directional connection that we're forming here. Just continuing to breathe. We're just going to spend a few more moments here for today, knowing you can come back here whenever you'd like. Letting any last thing here for you today unfold. Is there anything you would like to give to the earth? Is there anything the earth would like to give to you? Any gifting, any exchange of nourishment, any healing, or other exchange, love-filled, light-filled, heart-filled exchange. Last couple breaths here in this space. And we're going to start to ascend back up, inviting you to do this slowly, with great care, with ease. Inviting you to find your breath again, maybe deepen a little bit more into that gratitude. Gratitude for the earth. Maybe you have something new now to have more gratitude for. Calling upon your breath as you bring yourself back to that connection with your feet, with your seat, on that physical surface, holding you here, physically present. Continuing to call upon your breath as you ascend back up into your body, finding your breath once more, maybe down in your belly, in your chest, really feeling into those physical sensations in your body. Calling upon your breath to really come back physically into your body. And at this point, maybe you start to bring in some movements. Rolling your shoulders, maybe some gentle neck rolls. Maybe you start to rub your skin on your arms, your legs. Really taking your time here to become present with your physical body, where it is held here in the room you are in. Taking your time to come back out of this practice. As I mentioned, this is a practice that we can do so much with. We can do so much to deepen into one part, to expand, to play with curiosity. What's here? Every day you do this practice, and there's an invitation here to do this practice daily, to simply do it on your own and be guided. What's here? What's here today? Is there some part of self that wants to reveal itself, to heal a connection that's been, to some degree, closed off or severed? Maybe there's some part of the earth that wants to connect. Maybe the earth calls you to go down. Maybe the earth calls you to go outward, to breathe with the trees or some other aspect of the earth around you. And what this work is really a playground, an infinitely vast playground, something new to be offered each time we go into practice. Again, the option, you can do this on your own, or if you want more guidance, I do have a good number of free meditations. My Deep Roots meditation right now is free. I'll guide you in a similar practice to really grow roots and really connect into the earth and that grounded connection. If you're watching this video in autumn, I have a autumn centered meditation for grounding, for release, or if it's not autumn when you're watching it, I'll have a different seasonal free meditation out. I am also, at the time of this recording, just getting ready to release my next series of guided earth meditations. This is a 4-part series to take you on a bit of a journey, connecting more deeply with breath, with self, connecting more deeply with the earth, and calling in different practices, again, to play, to explore as we do what is really, really, truly profound work of connection, of healing, of grounding, of discernment. What a beautiful practice today. Oh, if you're still with me here at the end, I thank you so much for joining me today in conversation, in practice. If you found yourself here today, I didn't want to speak to this earlier because I really just wanted to get to the heart of what I was here to bring through today. But if you've been with me, maybe you've noticed I had paused my YouTube channel for some time. But today, for whatever reason, thanks to a lot of the shifts I've been making on the wider platforms, really felt called today that today is the day to restart this channel, to really, really come back to you all in this space, bringing through this very earth-centered embodiment work. So again, that includes, yes, connecting to the earth medicine, earth wisdom, earth magic, whatever words, phrasing resonate with you there. But it also includes working with self, because guess what? You are a human being, you are of nature, you are of this earth. So we can't do any sort of work with nature, with the earth, without also understanding ourselves and how we're connected into this web of life, which is something that we just can't do if we're living up in our heads in the world of thought and words and conversation. Yes, we can have conversation about it. We can start to touch upon these ideas, start to open doors to this realm. But this work really has to be done in practice so that you can experience for yourself all that is here. All that is here, which is just so much that is waiting for your conscious attention, your awareness, those connections to be made, and all the healing that is ready to be done so that we can be done with all those things that keep us in separation and perpetuate harm. Okay. I thank you again so much for joining me today here in this video. If it calls to you to deepen into this practice, go find one of those free meditations, go purchase my 4-part nature meditations series. So many different places we can hang out. I look forward to seeing you, being with you in whatever the next space is that we find ourselves in.